They arrive before anyone notices them arriving. At dawn, when the sea is still flat and obedient, the silhouettes appear offshore. No fanfare, no flags, just money sliding into view like it owns the horizon. By breakfast, the harbor is crowded. By noon, the island belongs to them. It's the same ritual every season, the same migration of floating fortresses, quiet, precise, unstoppable. Monaco is a stage, Porto Cervo is quiet dominance, Capri is chaos wearing sunglasses. Antigua is practical, the Virgin Islands specialize in disappearance. Dubai Marina announces itself. Miami celebrates wealth and forgets it by breakfast. From a distance, all these harbors look serene. White hulls, blue water, perfect symmetry. Up close, they hum. Each yacht is a floating state. Each harbor is a temporary capital. Far from the marina lights and the mayor's pride, Pablo Escobar, a Colombian narco, was already counting hours. Julien arrived in St.Barth young, ambitious, and untouched by reality. Paradise welcomed him with golden sunsets, luxury yachts, and promises of a better life. He worked among people who spent fortunes like pocket change, while he survived on tips and borrowed dreams. At night, the island felt magical, close enough to success, close enough to touch. But in Bar de L'Oubli, an old man saw something Julien didn't. This island was once forgotten. Then money arrived, and everything changed. Wealth became power, vice became cheap, and people slowly disappeared beneath the illusion. You think danger comes from poverty, the old man warned, but real danger comes from inequality admired for too long. The owner of the yacht arrived like a man who had recently rewritten his own destiny, Igor Gamzukovich. His fortune had been minted in the fever years of Bitcoin, when numbers rose faster than morals. Then the food arrived, conversation slowed, then stopped. Jean Pierre, you should come. Christmas, Caribbean, my yacht, just the sea and us in St.Barth. Outside, Manhattan glowed. Inside, history sharpened its knives. Christophe was renting jet skis like he did every season. Perfect sun, flat water, easy money when the sea behaved. Usually it's Americans, loud, friendly, sometimes drunk, tipping too much. Now it was Arabs, Venezuelans not on vacation but on a mission. On St.Barth, the villas were full, but this time something felt wrong. Different tourists, no laughter, just silent arrivals, and strict instructions. 3 villas, different names, same requests, same rules. Housekeeping is requested for Villa 7B. Nadej, an experienced cleaner who never asks questions, enters the villa. Everything looks staged and unused. No luggage, no signs of vacation life. In the bathroom, she finds a zip tie. On the balcony, a faint stain that has been partially cleaned. She receives payment immediately after leaving, larger than expected. That night, news reports quietly mention a missing person in St.Barth, while the island continues its luxury routine. But inside Villa 7B, something has already disappeared. At night in St.Barth, a luxury super yacht scene unfolds during a high-end gathering. Jean Pierre, a disciplined French chef, works aboard the yacht Immutable Ledger. While the harbor sparkles with mega yachts and wealthy guests, something feels off beneath the surface. A crew engineer suddenly goes missing without explanation. The captain reports it quietly, but no one takes it seriously. Until small technical irregularities begin to appear. Jean Pierre observes everything silently. He notices what others ignore. The yacht is no longer fully under control. The missing engineer becomes the first sign of something bigger, already in motion. Julien rode those dangerous roads above St.Barth every day. Narrow cliffs, blind curves, no room for mistakes. That morning felt normal until a white SUV suddenly appeared, cutting into his lane at full speed. He tried to brake, but the road gave him nowhere to go. The impact threw him off the road, straight into the thick mountain brush below. When he regained consciousness, something worse was waiting in the silence. A zip-tied body, marked with a yacht name, MY Immutable Ledger, and suddenly, this wasn't an accident. Murray grew up surrounded by wealth, but spent his life hating it. To him, every yacht was a symbol of everything wrong with the world. Then he met Pablo Muscobar, a powerful criminal who offered something Murray had never found before, permission to turn anger into action. Murray joined a dangerous coalition. Venezuelan gangsters, hardened fighters, and Muscobar's men launched a violent operation at sea. As yachts burned and hostages were taken, Murray didn't fight. He filmed. He wanted the world to witness the destruction and know he helped create it. But Muscobar saw through him. He warned Murray that he wasn't leading a revolution. He was simply another tool being used. Among the attackers was a white supremacist, Larry, who believed he was defending his own cause. Like Murray, he thought he was fighting for principles. Then both men learned the truth. Muscobar didn't care about ideology, race, or politics. To him, people were assets, leverage, and profit. Everyone else was expendable. While others fought for beliefs, Pablo Muscobar fought only for power. In Gaza, Ali learned survival before childhood. Growing up among war, shortages, and collapsing buildings, he discovered that staying alive was not heroism, it was calculation. As a teenager, Ali crossed a different kind of border. Working inside secret tunnel networks, he learned that power came from logistics, discipline, and knowing how to make things move. Leaving Gaza behind, Ali traveled through hidden routes and false identities. On the Mediterranean, he saw luxury yachts not as symbols of wealth, but as floating vaults waiting to be exploited. When fireworks illuminated the harbor, Ali prepared an operation built on timing, not revenge. For the first time, the noise was rising from someone else's celebration. Deep inside the villa's garage, Ali coordinated the operation.
Everything is in place.
While Murray chased ideology and Alex chased profit, Ali focused on one thing: control. Then Pablo Muscobar arrived. His plan wasn't chaos or politics. Every yacht, crew, and asset had already been calculated. This was not revenge, it was accounting. As the yacht quietly changed course, nobody noticed the danger closing in. But Chef Jean Pierre Labaguette felt the atmosphere shift. The operation had begun, and this night would be remembered. At dawn, the world's elite sailed in perfect luxury, unaware that danger was racing toward them. From the horizon came a strike team led by Ali, a man driven by a mission far greater than money. Within minutes, chaos erupted. The yacht was seized, communications vanished, escape became impossible. Among the hostages was Elena, a rising celebrity whose dream voyage suddenly became a fight for survival. As fear spread through the ship, Ali transformed a floating paradise into a weapon worth millions. But inside the operation, a different battle was unfolding, one driven by ideology, greed, and betrayal. Then came Muscobar, the man who understood that power isn't taken with bullets. It's controlled through fear. A luxury paradise became a floating prison. On the deck of the seized mega yacht, silence had already replaced control, and fear kept everyone in place. Muscobar was calculating the ransoms, not like an attacker, but like a man who had already decided how the night would end. Ali watched him without blinking, while Alex calculated what kind of man walks into control instead of taking it. But Muscobar didn't ask for permission. He moved through the deck as if Ali, Alex Murray, and every armed man there were already secondary. As he gazed at the burning yachts in the distance, Muscobar smiled with satisfaction. To everyone else, the night was a terrorist attack. To him, it was simply the first step in a financial takeover. And before walking away, he left his followers with one final lesson. Don't confuse your feelings with my plan. A luxury mega yacht in the harbor of Gustavia erupts in flames after a violent takeover, throwing the island into chaos. Armed attackers holding dozens of influential guests captive. As emergency calls reach Paris and Washington, government agencies become trapped in bureaucracy, debating jurisdiction and responsibility while the crisis grows worse. Meanwhile, on the occupied yacht, veteran chef Jean Pierre Labaguette recognizes that force will not solve the situation. While governments hesitate and armed factions struggle for control, he uses the only weapon he truly understands: food. By carefully preparing meals tailored to the beliefs, desires, and weaknesses of different groups aboard, Jean-Pierre gradually lowers tensions, exposes contradictions, and creates divisions among the captors. Watching from above, Muscobar realizes that while explosions create fear, patience, psychology, and time create real power. As the standoff continues, the battle for control shifts from guns and politics to influence, strategy, and human nature. As a luxury mega yacht burned off St.Barth, two governments rushed to stop a hostage crisis before it exploded. France wanted control, no ransom, no compromise. They believed patience would break the criminals. The Americans saw it differently. They believed every minute lost could cost lives. Soon, allies became opponents. Pride, politics, and conflicting strategies began tearing the rescue effort apart. Watching from the yacht, Muscobar exploited the division. He promised different outcomes to each side, turning disagreement into his strongest weapon. Chef Jean-Pierre sensed the danger immediately. He wasn't afraid of the gunmen. He feared the rescuers who could no longer agree. Then everything collapsed. A single shot triggered chaos. Gunfire ripped through the yacht as rival factions turned on each other. Trapped in the crossfire, Jean-Pierre realized the greatest threat wasn't the criminals anymore. It was the war between those trying to save everyone. Celebrity chef Jean Pierre Labaguette had survived critics, pressure, and impossible kitchens, but tonight he was trapped in a war zone beneath a luxury yacht. As armed factions battled for control above him, Jean-Pierre focused on the only things he could control: his breathing, his movements, and staying alive. Then the chaos stopped. One disciplined shot cut through the panic. It wasn't fired by a thug. It was fired by someone trained. Outside, sirens filled the harbor. Inside, the gunfire faded. The yacht was wounded, but still afloat. For the first time that night, survival felt possible. St.Barth was a paradise built on wealth, luxury, and the illusion of safety. Then, in a single night, everything changed. While the harbor celebrated, dozens of hostages were quietly moved below deck. No speeches, no demands, just a plan already in motion. A second explosion pulled every eye in the wrong direction. The chaos wasn't the mission, it was the distraction. Families were torn apart. The captors weren't choosing victims, they were sorting assets. Every hostage had a purpose. They vanished by sea. Hidden in plain sight, they escaped without triggering a chase. Chef Jean Pierre Labaguette watched it unfold. The calm terrified him more than the guns. This operation had been rehearsed long before tonight. While governments debated procedures and authority, the people behind the attack were already moving to the next stage. This wasn't a hostage crisis. It was a race against time. After the St.Barth hostage crisis, Muscobar reveals a much larger plan. While governments struggle to respond, Jean Pierre discovers the hostages are no longer bargaining chips. They are part of an international operation. American intelligence begins dismantling Muscobar's network, while investigators search the abandoned mega-yacht in Gustavia Harbor. Then the truth emerges. The hostages have been moved aboard a submarine deep beneath the Atlantic Ocean, heading toward Cuban waters. Trapped underwater with dozens of captives, Jean Pierre must survive as Muscobar's empire begins to collapse. As sonar signals echo through the darkness, an international hunt closes in, and the final confrontation is about to begin. Before sunrise, Muscobar's submarine surfaced off the coast of Cuba, carrying hostages and a dangerous plan. Under heavy guard, the hostages were moved ashore while the submarine vanished, leaving no evidence behind. Waiting on land were powerful officials ready to help, for the right price. Behind closed doors, a secret deal was negotiated. Muscobar demanded silence, fuel, and safe passage for his operation. Money spoke louder than politics. The agreement was sealed and cooperation was secured. With protection guaranteed and new routes opened, Muscobar moved one step closer to the next phase of his mission. Ali and Alex watch life in a quiet Cuban village while guarding the hostages. At first, the village safer than Gaza and Venezuela, but totally hopeless. Watching from the sidelines, Jean Pierre noticed a common pattern. In Cuba, ideals mattered less than daily necessities. Food, money, and survival always outweighed politics and grand promises. Soon, a private jet arrived to collect the hostages. They were quietly escorted aboard and flown out of the country, ending the hostage crisis without attracting international attention. With the mission complete, Muscobar distributed payments to his men, corrupt officials, and key allies who had helped make the operation possible. Every loose end was carefully tied off. Just as everything seemed finished, Muscobar received an unexpected phone call from tax authorities regarding the ransom money.
What is it?
The bizarre conversation briefly caught even him off guard. The IRS wanted itemized bills and his tax returns. As the jet disappeared into the horizon, Jean Pierre and Muscobar reflected on the future. Jean Pierre dreamed of returning to a normal life, while Muscobar was already focused on something far larger. His ambition to build power across South America and one day become the president of Greater Colombia.
Together, we will build a path to peace.
As night settled over Cuba, the two men went their separate ways. One sought freedom, the other sought an empire. Murray went back to France. He changed political affiliation to the far right and wrote a book about the failure of socialism. Ali lives in Dubai. He has 5 wives. Alex opened several successful empanadas restaurants in Panama. Larry, the married supremacist, married his Cuban girlfriend and joined the Democratic Party.